Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am your host, Crystal, and you're with me on the episode of Mending Me TV. It feels like forever since I've been here. Okay, I got some pointers. I got to stop the giggling. Okay. So this week's episode, we're going to be talking about family and freedom. That's a topic that that's the main point of my journey is freedom from family. A lot of people would think that I thought, family's forever. You're supposed to blood is everything. You're supposed to be there for your family. But sometimes your family is the reason you have a lot of trouble in your life. So today we're going to dive deep into a heart to heart on what it's like to set boundaries with or even say goodbye to family members when things get tough. We're going to talk about why it's complicated but sometimes necessary to let them go. So we just going to dive in. um, uh, in my case with my family, they they did some unthinkable things. Some unthinkable things that you would ever do to a family member. And it hurt me. It truly hurt me to see that because all I ever wanted to do was help. That's all I ever wanted to do. So I would help them. Even when I didn't have it, I would help. And they turned around and stabbed me in the back, talked about me, spread lies about me, and didn't care how I felt or how my child felt. So cutting them off it was a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer. So understanding the struggles. Families, they like being tied together. It's like being tied together with an invisible string. It's supposed to be a special connection, keeping us close, making us feel safe and loved. But sometimes it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like the string is getting tighter and tighter. And instead of feeling close, it feels like you're being strangled. It's like instead of being something beautiful, it turns into something so painful. Now, why would a family unit, why would that happen? Why would something so beautiful that's meant to be loved, why would that turn into something so painful? I have a few different I don't know what you gonna call them. Well, we're gonna start with number one. We're gonna start with number one. Um, Families, we have different views. Different views is one of the main reasons why families um, don't see eye to eye because they have different views, they different viewpoints. They see something totally different from you. People in families don't always see eye to eye. Everyone has their own opinion sometimes, so they clash. And that's just a part of life because everyone was, even though you could be brought up in the same home under the same with the same parents, and you can have a different mission in life. Everyone has a different mission, and you the things that you go through in life are lessons that you're supposed to learn. And a lot of people don't get that, and they don't move on that. They just move. They continue to move as a unit instead of moving as an individual. So that hurts. That messes up a lot of people's lives. Old wounds, old hurts, bad memories can make being with family hard. Like the past just keeps coming back up. And a lot of people, they they will have a bad childhood, and instead of them understanding why or what happened, they will continue to hold on to that hurt, and it festers into something. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because when most of the time when you're hurt as a child, you stay at that level, that emotional level, and so you continue to just um, feed that younger self of you, and that younger self is still a child, so that child acts out. And you will see that in a lot of adults, when they act out and they do crazy things, it's their child, their inner child doesn't know how to. The inner child hasn't grown. um Number three, expectations and pressure. Families sometimes expect a lot from each other. This pressure makes things tense and stressful. Like if you want your most of the time, when the parents, they want their kids to do a certain job or be with a certain person, that can cause friction in a family, because you're going against what my soul wants. You're going against what I feel that is right for me, because of what you want me to do. And that tears down a unit. Four is they change and they grow. People change, and sometimes the way we are now and the way our family is just don't match anymore. And that's in my case. I never really mixed with my family, and definitely not now. I was talking to my granddad, and he was asking me, had I talked to my birth mother? And I told him no. I was like, why? Because I done told this man so many times what didn't happen, why I don't talk to him. And he's trying to convince me, oh, we're family this. I was like, no, that don't make no difference. That don't make no difference to me. Like he looked at me. Oh, my granddad don't talk a lot, and he was talking to me, and I told him, I was like, no, and I was stern with it. He changed the subject so quick. Oh goodness, that's he's so he funny. That's a funny man. Um, Lack of boundaries. I forgot where I was going with that. I need to stop laughing. Okay, stop. Okay, lack of boundaries. Families can sometimes get too involved in each other's business, and that can cause arguments. That that's a lot that has to do with a lot. I mean, blah blah blah. That is a lot of people's cases, because they listen to their family to make decisions on their life, and it's like they don't understand that you're an individual. What you do, how you do it, what you I don't know if I said what, but that affects you. That affects your soul. That's what your body wants to do. That's what you're called to do. And when you go and listen to someone outside of yourself and they say, hey, go and paint yourself green. You like, why? But you are listening to your family telling you to do something that don't make sense to you. That can cause not trauma, but that can cause arguments, that can cause disagreements, that can cause you to have a disdain for your family, because it's like, why are you doing this? And that happens a lot in marriages, like when they go and talk to their when one of the spouses go and talk to their family about a situation, and the family gets involved in it. and the family saying, okay, even though it could have been something, a minor incident, but when that person went to that family member or those family members, it made it into a bigger situation than what it was. And that just, and then it's like, okay, this person wants to go back with this spouse, but you done already made this huge problem over here. And so all that is just going to be bickering, bickering, bickering. Not a good look. So, moral of that, you are an individual. You need to focus on self, what's right for you. When you bring other people into your life, and then you let them make decisions on your life, and then you turn around and you're so upset, like your life isn't going right, you're having problems, you're getting sick, it's because you're not taking control of your life. Okay, next, we're going to talk about how to spot that trouble. Figuring out when there's trouble in the family is like being a detective. You got to look for clues, and it's it's like, why do I even have to do that? That's what I had to do, because my family, they would tell me one thing but meant another thing. And that's what the people, the so-called friends that I had around me, would do as well. But God taught me how to look for different things within itself, within the speech that they're saying. Um, so these are different clues that you need to look out for. If you have like if it's constant arguing, if it feels like every time you talk, it turns into a big fight, that's a clue. That's as we say, a big red flag. That's a red flag. It feels like y'all can't agree on anything. It's just y'all fighting, just back and forth, back and forth. That is your soul. That's your souls. Your souls aren't meshing. Your souls aren't meshing. And you need to get away from that person. If you're constantly arguing with that person, and I grew up in that, my grandparents, they argued all the time. I mean, they had their calm days, but it was more arguing than anything. And it's like, why are y'all together? Why? And they will always say, because it was they had property together, they had things together. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna leave and give it to him or give it to her, and they not gonna leave because they a whole bunch of mess. If you come around your family and you feel drained, you feel instantly drained, if you feel super tired, and every time you're around your family, that's another clue. It's like with them, it's like they're taking all of your energy. It takes energy to argue, to when you get angry, that's a lot. I think that's, I don't want to quote it wrong, but it's like it takes more energy to be mad or to be upset than it is to be happy. And you put all that negative energy, all that hateful energy into something, trying to push it forward, it just takes everything out of you. When I would go back and forth with my son's father, it would just drain me, because it's like, why? What is this? Why is this happening? And I would just feel so tired. I would feel like I couldn't do anything. And when because he was uh they were all a part of waking me up. And every time I had to interact with him, God would clear my schedule. Like I would have three clients. I had three clients that day. And then like after I'm done with them, get my son out of school, we go get his haircut. My first client, they had canceled like 2 days before. The day of, I mean, the day before, another client would cancel, and then the day of, another client would cancel. I'm like, why is my whole schedule clear all of a sudden? Like I done had a full schedule, and now it's all clear. It was like he was giving me time to get your energy together because you're gonna have a battle in the afternoon. Like you're gonna have a problem that's gonna hurt and going to pull a lot of your energy. So I don't want you to be already on E from working all day and then interacting with this person. I need you to be fully energized so that when this interaction happen, you are able to sustain yourself. Three, walking on eggshells. If you feel like you have to be super careful with what you say and do around them, that's a sign. It's like you can't relax. No one should be walking on eggshells around anybody. If you are, if you got to tiptoe, if you got to go around, and I used to do this, but if you have to go around and make sure you say the right verb and the right noun to make sure that person don't blow up on you, it's like that's no way to live. That's no way to live. Life is so much bigger. God made me have me look at it because I was thinking small. Like I thought that my situation was the only thing that was happening. And God would pull like it felt like he would just pull me out of it. And I would just see like the whole world in like a like look down on the whole world like it's more to life than just your situation. So don't if you have to be careful around somebody and not say different things, please do your soul justice and just move on. I promise you, I promise you, you will be so much happier. You will be so much happier. Four, feeling guilty or not good enough. If you always feel guilty, like you're not doing enough for them, that's a clue. It's like you can never make them happy. And I seen that in with my son's father. What could I do? It's like I let my boundaries down, I let everything down, and this person still wasn't happy mistreating me. Wasn't happy mistreating me. So it's like, what? I can't give you nothing else. So never feel guilty. If you feel, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to take notice. Take take notes. Take notes when you're going around people and you feel like jittery. You feel weird. It just comes with. It just makes you uneasy. That's a sign your soul does not like being around that person or being in that environment. And I'm sure that when you leave, you're tired or you just feel like you're just blah. Do yourself justice and move away from that. This could be family, friends, lover, anybody. If your kids, I mean, your younger kids, I ain't talking about that because they a mess. But like if you have grown adult children, and they're every time they come around, you feel a certain way. Don't compromise your peace for family. I promise you, don't compromise your peace for family. And I was trying to convey that to my granddad, like I'm peaceful, I'm okay. I know that they hurt me. I know what they did. I'm okay. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. I'm not going to have that in my child's life. 5, avoiding each other. If you or them are always finding reason to not be around each other, that's a sign. It's like you're dodging each other. That means that there's something wrong in that relationship. It's something wrong, and either the, whoever is dodging, they can't pinpoint it, or they want to keep you around, but they don't want to interact with you. They don't want to um, be. It's like your energy kind of convicts them. That's what I would. That's what I would say. Your energy convicts them, and they can't be around it. So if you're seeing these clues, it might be time to figure out what's going on. It's about spotting signs early. Don't wait till it gets so bad that y'all arguing, or that y'all fighting, or that y'all talking behind each other's back. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So try and fix things before they get really bad. If you need to just be like, you know what, every time we're around each other's problems, I'm gonna just stop coming around. And I took myself out of the equation. Every time I'm around, I feel weird. I see, and God will make you see some things that you don't want to see. And I was seeing things, and I'm like, I can't sit here and know that you're trying to mess me over, trying and talking about me, and just sit here and be okay. And while you play in my face, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the warning signs. If you're constantly feeling put down or manipulated, these are big red flags. These are red flags. And these are things that they're doing and you just don't really see or understand it. Like the constant put down. If you're always feeling belittled, like nothing you do is ever right, that's a red flag. When they try and joke around and talk about you in that in a joking way, no. They mean that they just want don't want you to know that they're talking about you. They've already talked about you to behind your back, so now they just want to continue it but make it into a joke so they can continue to talk about you. If you feel manipulated, if it feels like you're being pushed or pulled to do things you don't want to do, that's a red flag. If you're um, being like when they say to like how my granddad said, um, to just forget that we're family, just forget, just being pushed to do something that I don't want to do. That's I could tell that he was trying to he picked up on it. I knew what he was doing. So if that happens to you, they're trying to guilt trip you into doing something, or no, don't do that. Don't do that. If you feel like you're on edge, and that's like sort of like the walking on eggshells, but on edge, if you feel tense, just stop. Just stop. If you feel trapped or controlled, this is a big one, because a lot of people get into relationships and they get into this obligation that um oh, this person helped me, or this person did something for me when I didn't have some, so I'm obligated to do this for this person. You're not obligated. That when people do things for you, they're supposed to do that out of the kindness of their heart. They're not supposed to ask or want anything in return. That that in turn makes you obligated to them. And an obligation to someone is a what is that? Is a contract with the devil. The devil is over obligations. So if you feel obligated to somebody, obligated to be around them, obligated to help them, that is a devil. That is a devil contract. That's not nothing of God. God would never make you feel trapped or control you. You have free will. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to be evil, be evil. If you want to be good, be good. The one thing that God does not like you toggling. Oh, I'm going to be good this day. I'm going to be bad this day. I'm going to be good this day. God will bless you. If you choose, if you pick a side, and say, you know what, God, I can't roll with you this time. I'm going with the devil. As long as you pick the side, God is seemingly he's okay with it because you picked a side. You're not playing both fences. But he would rather you come to him. But if you choose, say, you know what, God, too much bad stuff that happened to me. I can't deal with it. I can't get right. But never let anybody have control over you. Never. You have freedom. Even though, in the world we don't have freedom, but we have freedom over ourselves. Don't let anybody control you. 5, if you're being neglected or disinterested. If your family doesn't seem to care about you, your feelings, or what's happening in your life, that's a big sign. That's a red flag. And that's what the people around me, they made it, they came off as if they didn't care what I did. They didn't care how I felt. They didn't care what happened to me. And in hopes that it would bring me down, that it would make me feel bad, that it would make me feel less of a person. But when you have God and he tells you that, nah, let's flip that around and just drop it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody feels or cares about you. It's what you feel and care about yourself. You have to love yourself wholeheartedly, flaws and all. You have to love yourself. Because any like a slight, anything that you can say negative about yourself, it will open that door up for other people, for you to start caring about what other people think about you. And it just doesn't matter. Life is too short for you to care what someone thinks, how you look or how you sound or how you walk or what you do. Who cares? At the end of the day, God is the only one that can judge you. Don't let nobody else judge you. When you see these signs, it means it's time to take a step back and think. It's about listening to those alarms in your head and figuring out what to do to stay safe and happy. Sometimes it means having tough talks with your family or finding ways to protect your heart. When you get those warning signs, you will get alerts in your head. You should get alerts. You should get a feeling. You should get Sometimes you can get a stomach ache, you can get a headache, you can get um, something that is not an everyday thing. And if it is an everyday thing, something else is going on. But when those alarms go off, take heed to that. Understand that what you're doing at that time. Like if you're interacting with somebody and all of a sudden you feel sick or you get a headache or something, think about where you're at, who you're talking to, and what's going on in the situation. Are you arguing with somebody? Are you scared? Or is someone making you scared? Is someone doing something to put you in danger? If that person is, you need to leave them alone. And I want to put another point um, with blackmail. Like if somebody is blackmailing you, if they got something on you, if you've done something crazy that you don't want nobody else to know, or you didn't hurt somebody or did anything and somebody else knows and they're holding that over your head, never let somebody do that. That's them taking your free will away because they're making you obligated to them. And that's a devil contract. Obligations are those contracts. A lot of people get blackmailed. You shouldn't care about what nobody else think about you. If you lose friends, if you lose business, if you lose anything, it was for the good because they weren't good for you in the first place. Don't let anybody take your free will. They tried to take my free will away, thinking that they knew something about me, that they knew something about me that was a lie. Oh, and I'm going to say that at the end. Let me know if I should say that, God. Yeah. So if you see those signs, just please move on. I know a lot of people don't want to be alone and it's hard to not have friends and people around, but I promise you, if you heal yourself, find yourself, push yourself to be a better person. It's hard. It's hard, especially if you ain't been a good person. But I promise you, talk to God. I'm telling God is the answer. God is the answer. But he cannot come unless you let him in. You gotta let him in. Being around toxic vibes can really mess your head up. So we're going to talk about some things. We all been around bad vibes. It's like walking through a storm. It messes up your head and your heart. We're going to chat about why it's super important to take care of yourself first. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. They got I don't know if it's a saying or if it's a quote, but it's put the mask on yourself first before you try and save someone else. And I was trying, my son, he has ADHD, and at the time I had depression. And I'm trying to help my son, and I'm over here depressed, and I'm like, what's going on? And God kept giving me that saying, you need to help yourself first in order to help your son. I was able to help myself and get out of depression. Get out of depression. Stop taking those antidepressant pills. I got my son off of ADHD medicine, understanding the why behind all of it. Taking care of yourself first. Because if you're not feeling good, how can you deal with anything else? In my case, I couldn't deal with anything else because I was just so caught up in everything around. Everything was controlling my life. I had my free will was gone, and I was just trying to deal with it. I was just trying to deal with what was happening. I wasn't living. Number one, your well-being matters. Your happiness, your peace of mind comes first. If you're not okay, it's hard to help others be okay. And here we go. It's like putting on the oxygen mask first before helping others. And with that, I want to say it's an analogy. Um, because if you're trying to help somebody, that they say like they give you that the like if you're on a plane and they pull down a mask or whatever, you're the adult, but you're trying to, instead of you putting it on your face, you're trying to put it on all your kids' face, your grandparents' face, all these other people's face. And it's like, you're the only one that's able to help people. So it's better to put the oxygen, it may seem selfish, but put the oxygen mask on yourself first, because then you're fully, oxygenated. You have oxygen and you're able to help others after, once you get yourself together. So put your well-being, you come first. You are an individual. You were born alone. You will die alone. And everything else will still be here. And I'm thinking about this guy that I told you guys about. He was always helping people. His job, they would call him all times a day. Even when he was off, they would just call him, hey, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. What's going on with this? Other people needed help. And I would tell him, I'm like, just cut your phone off. Like, that job, if anything happens to you, they just gonna move on. They're not gonna care. Take your time for yourself. And what did they do? Next day, they had another manager in there doing his job. Take care of yourself first. Two, the impact of bad vibes. Being around negativity all day, all the time, can really drag you down. It's like having a heavy backpack on. You get tired and everything feels harder. It just, if you can feel a bad vibe. I can walk into a room and feel that vibe. Feel that who's angry, who's upset. And you just leave out. Just leave out. I was walking into where was that? It's a burrito place. I can't think of it. I can't think of it. It starts with a Q, I think. Well, me and my son was walking into it, and I stopped. I'm like you would just feel it. It just felt like it was like when they say you can cut it with a knife. It was that thick, and I'm like, nope, we going somewhere else. We get out of here. So don't. That will just bring you down, because bad energy rubs off easier than happy energy. You will catch somebody walk past you with an attitude, bump you, you got an attitude for the rest of the day. Take heed to when you feel bad vibes or you see somebody in a bad mood. Try your best to stay in a higher mood and keep it pushing. Third, protect your space. You got to make sure your space is full of good vibes and positivity. Like building a fort, you decide on who gets in, who comes in, and who doesn't. When the little boys, like when they had a tree house and they say no girls allowed, you need to have that no bad vibes. No bad vibes. Keep your space protected. If you have a customer, like I've had customers like I had to let go because I would go in their house and like you could feel it just you can like if walls could talk, that's what it is. Like walls was talking and it was just nasty. It was just negative. And I'm like, I can't do this. Because I will come in there and I'll have good spirits and then all of a sudden I get all this chatter and it's like they must argue all the time. It's something not right with this house. Um, Fourth, choose your happiness. Sometimes choosing to be happy means stepping away from the bad vibes and the people bringing them. It's choosing sunshine over rain. Choose again, choose yourself. Choose to be happy. When you wake up in the morning, understand that the day is the things that are happening are happening for you, not to you. So choose to be happy. If you see something going wrong, say, you know what, I ain't even going. You either don't deal with it or understand why it's happening, and that will help you with your day. We're going to talk about setting boundaries with family and with people just to keep you uplifted. Set boundaries with people. One is to identify your limits. Reflect on your values, your needs, and what you're willing to tolerate. If they are too much for you, if you don't need them in your life, if they're just a friend that is not bringing anything to the table for you, and that's kind of bad to say, like your friends got to have something for you, but if they only got negative energy, you don't need them around you. If they ain't got a job for you, if they ain't got some good information for you, why are you here? If you're not giving, you're taking. So you're taking my good energy and leaving me feeling drained. So identify your limits of who you need in your life. Recognize the situation that causes stress or discomfort. Don't let that come into your life. Keep your the good vibes up. Step 2, communicate clearly. Express your boundaries openly, honestly, and assertively. If you don't like something, don't beat around the bush with it. Tell them, hey, I don't like when you do this. I don't like hearing that. If they don't accept what you say, that's them crossing your boundaries. Use I to avoid blame. I feel upset. I don't like that you're doing this. I am not okay with this. Make sure you're assertive. Step 3, be consistent. Don't say one day, oh no, I don't want you over here. And then the next day, oh yeah, you can come. And they still have that same energy. You have to enforce your boundaries consistently. Avoid making exceptions unless absolutely necessary. And when I say absolutely necessary, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's somebody that really needs your help and they're just stuck in a funk. That may be something that you can bypass or let your boundaries down for, but I wouldn't do it. Keep stay consistent. Stay consistent with it because if they if you let them overstep your boundaries once, they're gonna think it's an okay thing to do. Oh, he just gonna let me back in. Oh, she just gonna let me back in. They know me. No, that person is toxic because they're saying, "Hey, I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you feel. I'm still gonna do what I do, and you're not gonna say anything about it." Enforce your boundaries and keep them consistent. Be prepared to take action. Have consequences in place if someone violates your boundaries. Like if that person just consistently comes in and just steps over your boundaries, make sure you can give them a warning and say, hey, I told you now, I don't like that. I don't like what you're doing. I'm gonna give you another chance. And then next time they do, like, you know what, I talked to you. You obviously don't care about what I'm saying. So I need to let you go. And that's what one thing I don't understand, how people can have friends from like kindergarten. And I'm like, I know for a fact they didn't cross your boundaries, they did something bad to you, and you still got that person on your show, on your hip. Like, oh, that's my best friend. We've been friends for this. No, no. If you look back, that's your problem. That's why you're having so many problems, because you keeping somebody that was that was 4 seasons, that's been in your life 4 seasons too many. They were supposed to have been gone, but you kept them around because that's my friend. We've been friends for so long. Let it go. Let it go. It's all about keeping your cool and keeping your distance when need to. Think about it like this. Sometimes it's like you're standing near a hot stove. If it's too hot, you don't put your hand on it, right? Instead, you step back and keep cool. That's how we should think about tricky situations or people who make us upset. Keep your cool, push them back, because it's not needed. That it's not that negativity. It's so much negativity in this world. We have to get it under control. So if you see somebody with bad energy, ask them what's wrong. What's going on? Why are you mad? Why are you so upset? But in these type of situations, stay calm. Even if it heats you up, try not to lose your cool. Just like you wouldn't rush to that hot stove, don't rush into an argument or a heated situation. If you see, most of the time you can sense when someone is mad or upset. You can see it in their demeanor. Just stay calm, because once, if they are already on 10, you gonna go on 10. It's just gonna keep going. So if you stay on 10, you stay down, you stay calm. Don't let them get you up to where they at. You stay calm. Know when to step back. If you feel things are getting too intense, it's okay to take a step back. It's like moving away from the hot stove. Give yourself a breather. Just walk away. If they are too, this is mostly like in relationships, when y'all really, I mean, you really can't just walk out on the relationship. Take a step back. Understand, figure out what's going on. Why is this happening? What is the problem? You have, you just have to, you got to take it one step at a time. Don't get burned. Staying too close to what's bothering you can hurt you. If something is making you upset and making you mad, and you sitting in the car with that person, or if you living in a house with that person that's making you so upset, it's like you will never get peace. You will never have peace when you sitting there with the devil. You will never have peace. Recognize when it's too much and move away. If you've been dealing with something for years, I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you doing it, because I would have been and lost my cool. That's how you become depressed, have anxiety, have stomach issues, that like, because that messes with you. Having too much anger and always in arguments and always in fights, that does stuff to your body. And it can hurt if you stay in that nasty energy too long. It can affect your body for in the long term. Because in most cases, if you understand, okay, I'm getting kind of queasy while this person talking, or every time I see this person is making me kind of my head hurting, move away and see how that works for you. It's okay to take a break. If you need time away from the situation or a person, that's totally okay. Wait for things to calm down before you dive back into it. If y'all arguing and you see that this going to a whole nother level, be like, you know what? I can't do nothing else. I'm tired. Keep it moving. Don't, if you keep arguing, you just gonna make it escalate. Escalate to a point where you might not be able to get it back. Dealing with tough stuff is about staying chill and knowing when to step back. We've all got to look out for ourselves and make sure we don't get too heated or burned. And with that, it's you have to find support. It's hard to deal with a lot of this stuff on your own. A lot of people aren't equipped to understand this or know what to do in these type of situations. So finding your support, finding your support squad. Think of finding a squad like a building, your own superhero, building your own superhero team. You want people around you who is strong, kind, and can get you. Someone that's a rock for you, that can hold space for you when you need it. Look for the right people. Find people who lift you up and not drag you down. Those people, it's a lot out there. It's a lot of people out there. Make sure you get some good people around you. If you have to go to therapy, that's a good place. Somebody that's not biased. Some people that don't, I would prefer that you didn't, that it wasn't people that you know, that doesn't know you personally or know like people in the situation, because they won't be so eager to pick a side. They're there for you. They're there to help you. Build a team with different strengths and abilities. Get some strong people, get some smart people, and get some people to make you laugh. Get a mix of superheroes. Get that diverse squad together. Keep it positive. Choose people who bring good vibes and positivity. Like having superheroes who fight off the bad stuff and bring sunshine. That's what you need in your life. You need those good people in your life to help you come out of those bad situations. If you're having a bad day, is that's why people like to have comedians around, because they uplift you. But in turn, they're really not doing too well themselves. So they need people too. But I digress. Keep it positive. Find trustworthy, and reliable people. Your your squad should be trustworthy and always there when you need them. Like having superheroes who show up to save the day every time. Somebody that's just there for you. that you can turn to, that you know they always got a good word for you. Keep those people in your presence. Keep them with you. In some cases, some people might want to keep that relationship and might want to mend the fence. But know that when mending fences, it's a two-way street. Working together to fix a broken bond, both parties have to be in agreement. If you want to fix a bond, and that's where I was always trying to fix something that I didn't break, and nobody, and they didn't feel that they wanted to fix it. So I'm always trying, and they're just looking at me like, there's nothing wrong, because in their eyes nothing was wrong. They were fine. I was the one unhappy. And I don't recommend it. But understanding a break in the relationship, if you want to rebuild that, if you want to, you got to first understand why the relationship is broken. Figure out where each piece was used and where it fits. Where's the broken pieces? Where is it? Why is it broken? Can it be fixed? Is it worth fixing? Sometimes you need to ask yourself, is is this relationship worth fixing? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's better to just let it go. And sometimes, you want to rebuild. If you decide that it is worth fixing, make a plan. Make a plan, make a clear plan as to how you're going to go about fixing this and repairing this relationship. With lots of patience and care, it could work. But both parties have to be in agreement. And when things are broken and you're putting it back together, you have to maintain that, because it could always fall back apart. Because it's like gluing a vase together, a broken vase. You can glue it back together, but one false move and that thing will pop, it'll fall and it'll break, and it'll go into even more pieces than what it was in the first place. So once you fix the relationship, it needs care. It needs to stay strong. You have to constantly check it to make sure that everything is still in one piece. Make sure everything is safe. Everybody is on the same accord. I want to say accord. I think it's accord that I want to use. Let's talk about letting go and forgiving. If you can't fix the situation, and you know that I just gotta let it go. I can't do nothing with it. The power of letting go. Letting go is like unclenching your fists. It's tough, but it allows you to breathe and feel lighter. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a gift to you. When they say that you have to forgive yourself for someone else, you have to forgive you have to forgive the person, but it's forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to be in that situation. Forgive yourself is not for that other person, it's for you. It's for you to understand that, hey, I know I made a mistake for trusting this person or letting this person into my life, but I forgive myself. That's a gift to you. It's a precious gift to you. It's not about the other person. It's about allowing yourself to heal and move forward. And moving forward to find peace. Finding peace is the goal. It's the ultimate goal. Uh, being in finding inner peace and calmness within yourself, even when it doesn't seem possible. But moving forward, forgiving yourself, that's the step to make to find peace. To find that, yes, I made that mistake, but I am taking accountability for myself and I am moving forward so that I can be happy. Healing and moving forward. Our journey doesn't end with the forgiveness. It's about healing and moving on. It's like patching up our wounds and learning to walk again. It's tough. It's tough, but it's it's well worth it. It's well worth it to move. I thought I couldn't move on because he hurt me, like, because I didn't understand why he would do that to me when I never did anything to him to even hurt him, to even attempt to hurt him. I couldn't, I was stuck. I couldn't move. I had to forgive myself for allowing myself to be taken advantage of, to be put in that situation because I couldn't stay there. I couldn't stay there. It wasn't an option to stay there. It wasn't an option. I'm excited. I'm thankful that you guys stayed with me this long. Um, oh, I got one more I'm gonna talk about. How to start into picking up the pieces and building a happy life for yourself. Rebuilding is like rebuilding a house that's been knocked down by a storm. It may seem tough at first, but brick by brick, step by step, you can create something beautiful again. Start small. Don't think you have to move a huge mountain first. Start small. Begin with little things, the small joys. It's like choosing bricks and laying the foundation for your new and happy life. Create a positive environment. Surround yourself with positive vibes and people who lift you up. Like building your house in a sunny, warm, and welcoming place. Setting goals. Have a clear goal and work towards them a little bit at a time. Like having the blueprint to your house and building it one room at a time. You're not going to do this in a day. It takes time. Cultivating happiness. Find what makes you happy and do more of it. Like decorating your house with your favorite colors and things that make you smile. Learning and growing. Turn every experience into a stepping stone. Like adding different rooms to your house to expand and improve it continuously. And you do that by building your joy, choosing your family, creating new traditions, and investing in yourself. I am appreciative that you stayed with me, and I hope that you got some value and some understanding out of this podcast this afternoon, this evening. If you have any stories, if you have anything you would like to say or would like to offer any uplifting words, I welcome you to leave a comment, leave a message. Uh, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will be back next week. Have a good night.